Hello guys, I'm Nick and welcome to this new video. Now, today we will be taking a look at the best knives that are under 100 euros right now for CSGO. Now, in case you missed it, over a year ago I did the best budget knives under 60 euros and now I've stepped up the budget to 100 and I brought you 25 different entries as to which knives you can get. Of course, 100 euros gives you a lot more choice in terms of which knife you can get, the finishes that you can get, and also the wear of the knife that you're gonna be getting. Before the video goes on, I'd like to say a couple of things. The first thing is that I'm actually recording this video while I'm ill. I have something in my throat, I cannot really speak properly, so if you hear that my voice is kind of different, now you know why. And I apologize for that, but I really wanted to bring out this video, so I drank a glass of milk and some honey, and now I'm ready to go ahead and bring you 15 minutes of entertainment. And the second most important thing is that these prices are based on the Chinese marketplace Buff163, which is the leading marketplace right now. It has the most quantity of items and it represents really well how much an item is valued. I really urge you to check it out. Buying items there is not as easy as some other European marketplace, but there you're gonna pretty much always get the best bang for your buck when you're gonna get a knife. And so with that out of the way, let's get into the list. The first knife we're gonna be taking a look at is the Falchion knife Autotronic. Here you can see it in field tested 0.20, so it's quite a good field tested one. It's really shiny. It's not one of my favorite knives, but definitely the Autotronic finish really suits this knife, especially with the carbon handle, which again, you don't really see it in game, but when you inspect the knife, you can actually see the carbon handle. This goes for around 97 euros, so it's really borderline with our 100 euro budget, but still this is a knife that I really want to recommend. And keeping it within our Autotronic theme, we have the Shadow Daggers Autotronic Factory New. These are a 0.008, the ones that you're seeing on screen right now, and these are precisely 100 euros. Again, really nice knives, really shiny when they're under the sun. If you play with high shaders, especially on the skins, I really recommend them. And next up, we have the Gut Knife Crimson Web in minimal wear. Of course, a lot of the minimal wares that you're gonna be finding for cheap are gonna be closer to the field tested, like this one 0.13. It's a bit scuffed around, but if you're lucky, you can get one like this one, which has good webs all over the knife. The Gut Knife has a really big blade, and the more webs you have, the more valuable the knife gets, and also the cooler the knife gets. I also really enjoy how the handle looks completely black. It's a really personal favorite touch of mine. We then have one of the most underrated patterns, in my opinion, which is the Bowie knife Freehand in minimal wear. Again, this is a really close knife to field tested. This is a 0.14 one, so just right on the cusp of being 0.15, therefore field tested. But as you can see, it doesn't look very scuffed, and if you're getting lucky with it, you actually can get a good pattern where the blade is pretty much completely filled with the purple graffiti, and then you have all of the little graffitis all around. I really love this knife, I really like how it looks, and this goes for 98 euros. A knife that is quite cheaper, but you wouldn't be saying that, is the Ursus knife Night Stripe in field tested. You can also get it in minimal wear, but minimal wear is 98 euros, and for 77, so around 20 euros less, you can get a 0.17, and in general, the difference between a minimal wear and a field tested are really unnoticeable, especially when the floats are that close. There are a couple of scratches more, but it's really nothing like major on the knife. It doesn't change the look as it used to do on the old Night finishes, and so this is a really solid pickup if you like the Ursus animations and if you like waving it around. We then have one of my favorite knives, which you should have seen why it's my favorite knife on my ranking all the CSGO knives. Go watch that video after this one, I'll link it up on the top right. And also one of my favorite finishes, which is the Bright Water, and this one actually comes in factory new. The one that you're seeing is a 0.06, it is 97 euros, and I think that if you have a blue themed loadout, it's a really nice pickup. You cannot go wrong with a Huntsman knife, and you cannot go wrong with a Bright Water finish. You can also get some pretty cheap blue gloves, maybe for the future, something like Cobalt Skulls and stuff like that are quite cheap, and you can still manage to fit within a reasonable and decent budget. We then have everyone's favorite butt plugs, which are the Shadow Daggers Crimson Web. These ones come in minimal wear, and I really suggest you buy them in minimal wear because they're gonna be ultra clean. The ones that you're seeing are 0.13. They are again 97 euros, so around the cusp of the 100 euro mark that we've established. But also these ones have been used by pro players like Taco, and I think these ones look really, really nice, especially if you want a vibrant, cool looking inventory. Another super vibrant and like flashy skin that you can get is the gut knife Autotronic infield tested. The one that you're seeing right here is a 0.36, so quite a poor field tested gut knife. It's 96 euros, so it's again riding that 100 euro wave that we're almost on. But I can really recommend it if you want something that fits well with a lot of AKs. Maybe you have a cheap red line, maybe you have a nice slate with a red sticker craft. A gut knife Autotronic, if you like the animation, is really what you need. And keeping it within gut knives, we have the gut knife lore, and the one that you're seeing right now is a 0.25, again 97 euros, but still a really cool looking knife. I think this might be one of the best knives in this list. It's flashy, it has a lot of intricate patterns on the blade, and it is under 100 euros. It's absolutely amazing. My personal suggestion for you is to wait around and try and snipe one with a low float, because the lower the float it gets, the better the knife looks. This is a 0.25, as I already said. You can see it has some scuffs around the back of the blade. It doesn't look too bad, but it also doesn't look extra clean like a 0.15 lore would get you. A knife that I highly suggest you to get in minimal wear instead of the field tested version is the Huntsman knife Ultraviolet. The one that you're seeing right now is a 0.14, and you can see that it actually has a lot of scuff marks around the blade. So if you can get a low float minimal wear, it's way better than a field tested. A field tested is gonna be cheaper, okay, but a minimal wear can give you that cleanliness that you're looking for in an ultraviolet. I love how the handle looks, and again, this is 97 euros. An amazing knife for an amazing budget. We then have one of the most maybe controversial entries in my list, and it's the Flip Knife Blue Steel, and I've actually put it in battle scarred. This is a 0.99 and it's 96 euros. And why did I put it like this? Well, because I'm a big fan of dark knives that glow kind of in the sun, and the battle scarred blue steel is one of the best knives that you can get if you want that kind of like black pearl vibe. I used to have a butterfly blue steel in super battle scarred condition, and it was amazing because it looked like basically a black pearl, even though I didn't have any money to get a black pearl. If you want a field tested version of this, it's actually gonna be cheaper than the battle scarred version. It's gonna be 94 euros. It's gonna look better into some people's eyes, but I still would go for the battle scarred version. The more battle scarred you can get it, the better it looks, in my opinion. If, for example, you want a high tier finish on some lowish tier knives, you should go ahead and check out the Shadow Daggers Marble Fade. These are factory new, 0.010. They're gonna run you for about 94 euros, but I have to say they look absolutely amazing, and when I discovered that they were actually under 100 euros, I was absolutely surprised by it, because I would never think that finishes like the Marble Fade, the Lore, and the Crimson Web can be actually that cheap. You can get a Marble Fade for under 100 euros. It's absolutely amazing. We then have one of the maybe most sought after knives, which is the Nomad knife Night Stripe. This unfortunately isn't well worn, but you're getting a really high tier knife with maybe a shitty-ish pattern and not in a really good float. It's a bit scuffed, but it's not as scuffed as the old Night finish, as I keep saying. This is way more decent, and for 97 euros, if you really want that Nomad knife because you've seen Simple using it, I think this is the knife for you, honestly. You're getting a Nomad and you're not spending any money, and you're also getting it with a decent pattern, which is dark. It goes with a lot of the default gloves that you can find in CS, as well as it pretty much can fit any type of cheap inventory, honestly. Getting up to the part where we have a high value pattern but low value knife, we have the Shadow Daggers Slaughter in factory new, 0.05, the ones that you're seeing right now, they're 93 euros, and the ones that you're seeing right now actually have a diamond pattern on the blades, which looks amazing, looks pretty nice, I have to say. I don't know if Slaughter with diamond pattern still gets you enormous overpay for them or whatever, but I have to say they look pretty nice, and in my opinion they are worth it. We then have one of the maybe most weird entries in this list, and it's the Bowie knife Crimson Web in battle scarred. This is 92 euros, and it's one of my favorite knives ever. I used to have an M9 just like this, so the idea is that the knife is gonna be pretty much completely clean. Basically, it looks like a vanilla knife, except that it has a few drops of blood all around the blade. I think this is a really overlooked aspect of these knives, of the really battle-scarred Crimson Webs, and this is why I basically love them. I think this is one of the knives that you should consider first, because you see, if you like the vanilla look, you get basically a vanilla look, and also you get a bit of blood on your blade, which could be always fun to play with, and it could be also nice to match with a lot of skins in your inventory. If instead you're going for something blue themed, you can always go for the Bowie knife Bright Water in factory new. It's gonna run you for around 90 euros. This is a 0.05, and as I again said before, the Bright Water for me is a really nice pattern. A lot of people shit on it, a lot of people don't like it, but personally I think it's a good pattern, and it's nice that it's cheap, so you're getting a, let's say, mid to low tier knife with a mid to low tier pattern. It's certainly not a rust coat, but it's also not a lore, and you're paying it a fair price, 93 euros. Getting onto more gut knives, so we have the gut knife Slaughter in factory new, and again you can get it for under 90 euros. Actually this one is 89, and if you're lucky you can pull a decent pattern. Maybe you can get a pattern with a heart or a diamond pattern, and in general the gut knife has a pretty big blade, so your chances of getting a decent pattern on it are pretty high. And you know, you're not getting a little Navaja knife that you can barely see, you're getting a big knife with a decent pull-out animation and a decent inspect animation as well. And then we have another classic that's always been around or under 100 euros, and it is the gut knife Tiger Tooth. This one is gonna be in minimal wear. 89 euros gives you a pretty nice tiger tooth. Of course it's not a ceramic tiger tooth, it doesn't have the same vibe, there's no black and orange stripes, they're like orange and yellowish stripes, so it's a bit different, but it's still pretty decent for a tiger tooth you're getting for really cheap. Getting on with some of the most outrageous knives and actually finishes that you can get on this list, we have the Shadow Daggers lore in field tested. Now the ones that you're seeing are 0.25, so a pretty run-of-the-mill field tested float. But as you can see, they're super duper clean. Like, I haven't seen knives this clean in a while, and these are less than 90 euros, these are 86 euros. It's absolutely amazing what you can do with a couple of Shadow Daggers. I mean, if you like the lore pattern, if you have yellow themed inventory, these are the knives for you. I love how intricate patterns they have, and also how bright they shine in the sun. And do you know what knife does not shine bright in the sun? Is the Bowie knife Black Laminate in field tested. And for the Black Laminate knives and all of the finishes in Black Laminate, please, ladies and gentlemen, do not spend a lot of money getting a factory new one rather than a well-worn one, etc. Just get the cheapest one. Black laminate knives change really little between conditions, so you're better off just getting the one that's the cheapest, and you're gonna be happy with it. I used to have a Bowie knife black laminate in well-worn. It costed me around 84 euros. It was the cheapest one that I could find on the market, and I just bought it because I really had a craving for a Bowie knife, as well as I really love the black laminate finish. If you want to maybe switch it up a little, you can always go for a Paracord knife Urban Masked in minimal wear. I think the Urban Masked pattern is a bit of an overlooked pattern. It's not that decent, but it's also not that bad. It's one of those mid-lower tier patterns, and you can get a Paracord which, as you can see right now, looks pretty decent for actually 79 euros, so you're getting the value of the animations of the Paracord knife with a pattern, but again, under 80 euros, this is amazing what you're getting. If you want something a bit more purple, you can always go back to the Shadow Daggers Freehand, in factory new actually, and these are super cheap, one of the 2 cheapest knives on this list. They are 70 euros, and if you also want to go cheaper, you can get the Shadow Daggers Damascus Steel in factory new. These are 0.06, so they're pretty good condition, and these are 69 nice euros. I have to say, like, if you want a decent pattern, if you want something decent, 70 euros is really cheap for what you're getting, both with the Freehand and with the Damascus Steel. Now, Damascus Steel, I always recommend it. Get it in factory new. In the other condition, it just looks so scuffed, and you can see how much they shine and how bright they are in factory new. I really recommend these ones if you want something that is so bright and shine that it blinds you, basically. And the last knives on this list are the gut knife Dopplers in factory new. Now, why am I talking plural? Well, because there are 3 phases that you can actually get for really close to 100 euros, and the cheapest one is actually 85 euros. Unfortunately, it's the most boring one, but let's go ahead and say why I picked this. Well, it's because everyone loves Doppler knives. I haven't seen a person in this world that says, oh yeah, Doppler knives are shit. And the cheapest phase that you can get right now is a phase 3. So it's one that is really dark. It has dark blue and dark green undertones. It's quite black, and it's not the most desirable phase, but if you want something for 85 euros and you really want a Doppler because you want to say that you have a Doppler knife, this is the one for you. If you want to spice it up a bit, and if you get lucky, you can get a phase 4, which is a lot more vibrant blue that gets closer to the sapphire knives. And if you want to go a bit even spicier, you can get a phase 2, which is actually pink galaxy. Well, some of them are pink galaxy. It has a lot of reddish and pink in it, and I think it looks absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite patterns out there. And in general, if I had to choose one, I'd always go for a Doppler phase 2. Every time I had a Doppler, I went for the phase 2 just because it looks amazing. And if you get lucky, you can get a pink galaxy one. So everyone, this was the list. I really hope you enjoyed it. I completely destroyed my vocal cords. I barely can speak. I want to thank you all for the massive, amazing support that I've been getting in the last few videos. I've been getting a lot of subscribers, a lot of people commenting, a lot of people leaving nice suggestions. I've been getting an enormous amount of views, enormous for my channel, obviously, amount of views. And it's making me super happy and super motivated to work on these videos and to keep going and grind it for new content and having new ideas. Now, I know that today's video was a bit longer. I hope you really enjoyed it. And remember, guys, good luck and have fun.